Hey everybody, it's time for the weekly Rahdo Recap brought to you by Elf Creek Games. And you know what that means, folks. I'm going to be doing three things. I'm going to tell you about all the videos that went up on the channel. I'm going to tell you about videos on other people's channels that I think are great. And I am going to be telling you about a few new games I discovered here on the final day of 2023 that you might want to know about. And as always, folks, I'm doing it from the road. There's our RV. Here's where we like to rest and relax. And here's our view out the front window. The sun is rising. Can you actually see it? Let me try and adjust things. There we go. Here at beautiful Bay of Conception in Baja, California. And it has just been lovely the last few days that we've been here, folks. We're not quite alone. You can see there's a few other RVs. There's actually, this is an incredibly popular beach called Sanispac. Probably, thousands of RVs flock here every year, but we're not at Sanispac. That's on the other side of that mountain over there, and it is crazy noisy over there. People running their generators, dogs running free. This is the lesser known, I think it was Piedmont Beach, something like that, that Jen and I decided to come to because, hey, no generators allowed, nice and quiet, smaller beach, not as many folks, and it's absolutely lovely. But enough about my situation. You want to hear about the games, right? Let me go on ahead and pull out my list right here. I think, wake up phone, there we go. Yes. All right, well, first of all, on the channel, folks, we've got some fun stuff this week. I did a couple of exclusive videos, both of them with Jen. First of all, did the monthly Jen jog where Jen ranked all the games that we played over the month of December, and as always, she surprised me, zigged when I thought she was going to zag, but more importantly, folks, we did the monthly ramble, and that was Jen appearing as well to do her top 11 games of 2023. Basically, I went over all 169 games she played over the year 2023, pulled out all the 5 stars. She gave 11 games perfect scores, and then for almost an hour, she agonized over trying to rank them against each other, and it was hilarious. And I was really, really surprised at the end of all that how little overlap there is between her top 10 of the year and my top 10 of the year. So that is available for everybody right now as a thank you for helping keeping Rahdo running. The ramble, and of course the monthly Gen Jog. So those are exclusives for backers of the show on Patreon or here at YouTube as members. What's everybody get to see? Well, I just mentioned it, folks. I did my top 30 of 2023. Now, remember, that's the preliminary edition. I am planning on revisiting that at, probably by the middle of the year after I've gotten home and I've gotten to play there's probably about a dozen more games I need to play that I think have the potential to punch into the top 10. So, still, on Christmas Day, as always, I wanted to give that preliminary list, and it was a lot of fun, and I guarantee you, folks, there are some games on my list you have not heard of that nobody is talking about that are flying under the radar and that deserve more attention. Let's see, what else? Oh, I also did the monthly Rahdo Roundup. Jen did her Gen Jog, I did my Roundup, and again, we were really at odds on several of these games that she ranked higher than me or that I ranked higher than her. So that's always a lot of fun. And actually, I filmed the roundup. Let me turn around. If you can see behind me, up on those hills over there, I just basically stood up on the hills over there and shot down on the water and filmed that yesterday. So those will let up on the channel. Oh, and also I did, 4 rapid reviews. Let's see, what were they? Quick videos, each of them in less than, 3 or 4 minutes for Arnak, the Missing Expedition, which honestly I think is one of the most impactful expansions that we've seen in years because it turns Lost Ruins of Arnak into a cooperative game and does it brilliantly and shows the rest of the industry just how well it can be done. Let's see, I also, the rapid review for Lunaris 45, and a super sadly overlooked gem from the year. It's interesting. If you watch my rapid review, and I talk a bit about the gameplay and how it's very, very sharp, kind of an interesting twist on Yahtzee with a lot more stuff going on. And I said, oh, my only complaint about it is there's no theme. And actually, the designer of the game posted a comment on YouTube saying, yeah, we actually had a deeper theme, but it, during production, it kind of slipped between the wayside, and it makes me even sadder. But the gameplay of that game is so great. And, don't be afraid, folks, of the big scary face on the box. Lunar's 45 is fantastic. Oh, speaking of hidden gems, Frontier Enchanted Land. This is a game that came out in 2019, had a small little Kickstarter run, was moderately successful, and I finally got around to playing it. And, earlier this year, and did a wrapped review for it, and I think it's great. Jen thinks it's great too. It's an actual keeper for us. Very sharp, card drafting game, of the Sushi Go 7 Wonders variety, but really, really neat. And interestingly, you can now only get that game direct from the designer on Etsy, of all things. So somebody asked after watching the review in the comments, hey, how can I get this? And I had to go look it up. He sells it directly on Etsy, although his Etsy shop is closed for the holidays. But in the new year, you'd be able to pick that up if my rapid review intrigues you. And then the last one, Meadow Downstream, the first expansion for the wonderful, wonderful Meadow. And folks, I went completely against the grain on this one and said why I didn't like this expansion. And, what could be done to make it work for me. Now, for the record, this is one of the things Jen and I disagreed on because she thought it was a phenomenal expansion, wouldn't want to play Meadow without it. But for me, I had some reservations. So for everybody who says I never say bad things about anything, could I point you to the Meadow Downstream? Although, man, it's basically, it makes the game too long. That's the problem, and they didn't have to. But again, watch the rapid review, you'll learn more. Okay, so that was it for my channel. What about other channels? Oh boy. All right, folks. It's the end of the year, so I gotta stop doing, best of 2023 compilations, but I've got 2 more. All right, first of all, Alex of Might I Suggest a Game. He did his, what did he call it? The 2023 Sommelier Suggestions. And it was a very, very fun best of the year list. He had some really cool categories like best table hog and stuff like that really made it a lot of fun. And he talked about a bunch of games that aren't being talked about elsewhere, so I thought that was worth pointing out. Alex, you did a fantastic job as always. Cannot wait to get home so that you and I can start filming more games together. Let's see. Oh, and then Board Game Ramblings, or, Board Gaming Ramblings. Sorry, I always think it's Board Game Ramblings, but it's Board Gaming Ramblings. Johannes and Sunniva did their 2023 Rambling Awards, and I have to mention this one because I'm on the show, along with 22 other board game media channels. It was an epic collaboration. And folks, if you skip to my part in there, where I did the announcement for Best 2-Player Game, according to Johannes and Sunniva, when they sent out the email, they said, hey, by the way, folks, say whatever you want in your thing. If you want to do some self-promotion, go ahead. And I did. And I think I'm the only one who did. Everybody else just focused on the awards. So when I saw the final product, I felt a little embarrassed. But still, a lot of fun. Although, honestly, I'm going to give Board Gaming Ramblings a double feature this week, because as much fun as that wasn't the real heat on their channel. What you really want to check out is their Ramblings of the Year video. They did a live stream Q&A. They talked about their stats. Honestly, I have no idea how they play so many games. It just blows me away. But their Q&A was really a lot of fun. And especially one question that came, I don't know, about 2/3 of the way through. All I'm going to say is, Sunniva, right back at ya. Very much so. You know what I'm talking about. And folks, you can check out the Ramblings of the Year plus Q&A stats video. Link for that is down in the show notes, along with everything I'm talking about. Or you can wait till the end of this video. Oh, I'm getting to a lot of seashells now. At the end of the video, there'll be a big old playlist on the side of the screen you can click on to get to all these things. Right, what else? What other channels? Oh, Liege of Games. Liege of Games normally, for the most part, focuses on crowdfunding roundups, and he does a fantastic job. But he did a top 15 most anticipated retail games, and it was great. Now, I'm planning on doing my own anticipated games for 24. I'm going to film it later today so it can go up on New Year's Day. And I got to say, I was he pointed out some games that had slipped between the cracks that I had not seen, and I just highly recommend it. If you, like me, are excited about games and you want to hear about some cool upcoming stuff that you won't hear about anywhere else, check out Liege of Games and his, what was it? It was, his top 15. Alrighty, then, Jamie Stegmaier of Stonemaier Games. I'm always loving what he did. He did a top 10 favorite positive player interaction video. Yes, I did this same topic. Gosh, it must be 7 or 8 years ago. Still one of my most watched videos, and I'm very, very proud of it, trying to point out, hey, game developers, hey, designers, you can have interaction that doesn't require players beating each other over the head and stealing from each other all the time. How about positive ways to interact? And Jamie does a great top 10 listing some that I think are fantastic. Oh, that is very, very bright. Let's see, how about if I just come around like this? I basically, as you can see, folks, I've run out of room unless I want to get my feet wet. So we're going to turn around, and that means I'm going to be in shadow. If I go like this, hey, there we go. All right, how about that? I'll look down upon you with my wisdom. Oh, one more thing. Totally tabled. Shaggy, finally, folks, there is an Earthborn Rangers video that really captures the feel of the game. Shaggy did an amazing job. Earthborn Rangers is one of my big regrets. I did not get a chance to play this year, and I really want to check it out. And a bunch of people have covered it in a bunch of different ways, and I've watched a bunch of them, and I always come away not really getting it. But Shaggy's video, his Earthborn Rangers, he basically goes through the intro tutorial, like the first few chapters, talks about how to put the game away, how it has its save system, and he does a great job. And I finally am starting to get why people are so excited about this game. Highly recommended. My only caveat, he did it solo. And man, Shaggy, if you get a chance, go back and do the same thing, but show it as a 2-player game. I want to see the multiplayer experience as well, because you did such an amazing job, buddy. Anyway, though, so it's totally tabled. His Earthborn Rangers tutorial is great. Okay, so that's a bunch of videos, folks. Now let's talk about a few games. I've got 4 new games that I discovered while cruising through the highways and byways of Board Game Geek. Let's start with the big one. The one that everybody's going to be talking about in the coming weeks, Heat, Heavy Rain. Yeah, baby. Heat, the critical darling and super smash hit that was incredibly impossible to get because it was sold out all year, is getting its first big box expansion. It's called Heavy Rain. What does it do? It increases the player count to 7. I think there's now an orange car, if I recall correctly. Adds 2 new maps, Japan and Mexico. Hey, how appropriate, since I find myself in Mexico. It adds a new gameplay mechanism all about flooded tracks, because in the heavy rain, when the water comes over the top, you've really got to manage your heat better than ever to be able to deal with wet tracks and flooding on the track. And then it says, just a ton of new cards. New upgrade cards, stress cards, championship cards, sponsorship cards, heat cards, event cards, upgrade cards. Did I say that? Tons of new cards. I think mainly people want the 2 new maps. They want that new system. And hey, I'm sure for some people, being able to go up to 7 would be really, really great. So folks, if you love Eat, Heavy Rain is coming. And I think everybody's going to be very excited about that. So, and then another one, 7 Empires. This really caught my attention. It's the next game from Mac Gertz, Mr. Concordia. But long before Concordia, Mac was known predominantly for an older design of his called Imperial, which I have to admit is one of the only Mac Gertz games I've never played, because it's kind of an area domination, Euro war game. Well, anyway, 7 Empires is the sequel. They don't come right out and say it, but it sounds a lot like it's the sequel to Imperial, which means I don't know how I feel about it, because I don't particularly want to play a game all about battle and area domination. But on the other hand, it's a Mac Gertz game. And here's the deal. It literally says on Board Game Geek, this is Imperial without money and without the rondel. So I'm going to assume that means he's bringing over the Concordia card system but who knows, maybe he's doing something completely new and different. Still, Mac Gertz is one of the best designers out there, and so I'm always interested, even if it's a game that is not my cup of tea. I want to know more, and I put 7 Empires on my wish list for now. Okay, and now, this is one you probably haven't heard of. Master Sensei? This is from designer Daryl Chow, and it's a game all about practicing traditional Chinese herbal medicine. And the interesting thing is Daryl actually worked with a real-life sensei to ensure, accuracy and all of that, so I think that's really, really cool. But really, I'm putting it on the list, not only because I'm interested in the subject matter, but because Daryl is a great designer. Oh, what was his game that I played? Remember Our Trip is fantastic, and he's got several other games I'd really like to try too. So the subject matter sounds great. The designer is great. Master Sensei. And then one more, folks. And now this one might make people mad, but I just think it's great. It's the Rebalanced Tapestry Civilization Pack. And for folks who don't know, Tapestry is, as far as I'm concerned, the greatest civilization. No, the second greatest. Nations is still the best Civ game. And you know what? Age of Civilization might be pushing into my #2 spot, but for now, Tapestry is in my top 3 greatest Civ games of all time. And when it originally came out, it said right there in the rulebook, by the way, folks, if you could report your game results to us, we plan on continuing. I'm going to start climbing because this wall is just, I will not be stopped. So anyway, here we go. Don't worry, I'm fine, folks. I'm fine. Anyway, they said, look, we're going to continue trying to tweak and bounce because this is such a big, complex game, and we need your help. And so now that they have got the data from literally, if not tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of play sessions, they have been continually, over the years, tweaking the relative strengths and weaknesses of the different civilizations. And they're constantly making available to everybody. It's not like the game is broken in the original box, but all you've ever had to do is say, oh, for this, if you play this civilization, start with 6 extra points to make up for the fact that it's a little bit weaker than the other ones. Well, they're done. It sounds like they've come up with their final tweaks and whatnot, and they are releasing an expansion pack that is just all the civilizations with the new tweaked numbers and whatnot on it. Not necessary at all. It's easy enough just to, because all these tweaks, they're just, hey, as part of setup, do an extra little thing. All you need is a piece of paper or just, a PDF, which I've got, and I printed out and put in my Tapestry box. But for folks who need to have all that information on the cards themselves, well, they're releasing the new final, tweaked and balanced. So that's it, folks. Phew, okay. And I've walked very far away now, but we are done. And it's at this point that, hello, there is right there the, the playlist. And there's the subscribe thing. And there's the Patreon thing if you want to see those exclusives. And that's it, folks. And now I think we're going to go blow up our inflatable kayak and hit the waves and see what's out there just beyond the corner. Thanks for watching, folks. See you next week. Oh, and don't forget, tomorrow is the anticipated games of 2024.